I think DORA goes beyond really anything we have seen so far in existing legislation, both in terms of substance, but also from a penalties perspective. And at the same time, as William mentioned, DORA has a very specific focus. Namely, it addresses cybersecurity risk arising from the use of third-party ICT providers mainly, and also in a particular industry, the financial industry. Now, what is it that makes DORA unique? DORA really brings together all of the third-party resilience requirements from a cyber perspective that previously existed only in non-binding guidelines, for example, issued by the EBA or ESMA, or in fragmented pieces of legislation. So the first key takeaway about DORA, obviously, William touched upon this briefly, is that DORA is a regulation. Unlike NIS2, which is a directive, DORA is directly applicable and fully enforceable as of this Friday across the EU without the need for EU member state implementation. And DORA will be primarily enforced by the national financial services authorities that are designated under the corresponding financial legal acts. So for investment firms, the authorities competent at national level will be the authorities already competent for investment firms and so on. This also ensures, obviously, that the competent authority has a good understanding of the specific financial entity that it's looking to regulate under DORA. Second, I think the level of penalties and also the depth of investigative measures that can be taken under DORA really go beyond anything we have seen so far in existing legislation. They can range from monetary penalties to administrative fines, like we see, for example, in GDPR, but also in NIS2. But importantly, they also include the potential for personal liability for management bodies and individuals of senior management, and also the potential for criminal sanctions. I think in particular, by introducing the potential for personal liability in DORA and also in NIS2, the EU is really recognizing how important cybersecurity is, and that this really today is a board issue that organizations need to take very seriously. DORA also has extraterritorial application or impact. So we all know, obviously, the GDPR that has full extraterritorial application in specific under certain conditions. DORA applies directly to critical ICT providers that are based outside the EU, and also to financial entities that offer financial services in the EU, with a potential for penalties that travel up the company chain in certain instances and depending on national law.